I have lived in Celebration for the past 5 years, and this year I'm moving. In this video, I'll talk about why we decided to move out of Celebration and the pros and cons of living there. If you're thinking about moving to Celebration, this video is for you, so keep on watching. Let's start with all the things that I loved about living in Celebration and a few things that I'm going to miss, maybe. There is always something to do here. The town center is full of shops and restaurants. They're developing a new part of Celebration as well. It's called Island Village. So there's a new elementary school, they have some apartments over there, and there's a lot of new houses as well. There's a lot of new restaurants that are still popping up. I think a new Mexican restaurant just opened yesterday, and today is April 3rd, so they're constantly popping up new restaurants, new things to do, little shops and stuff like that. So I think the Island Village area is going to be really cute. I haven't filmed a video in so long, and I am almost 31 weeks pregnant, so I'm catching my breath. Like, take a chill pill, we don't need to talk that fast. Okay. The tavern is one of my favorite spots just to take anybody. They have so much food. It's kind of like a Cheesecake Factory menu. Like, everyone will probably find something they like. Even though it's a seafood restaurant, I don't like seafood, but they have plenty of options if you don't. They do trivia there on Wednesdays. I think they do Monday bingo nights. So each night they have something different, which is really fun. So it's nice to get everyone together and go and play some trivia. They have a nice wine bar. The Italian restaurant is probably my favorite restaurant around here. This is the name. I'm totally blanking on that. We haven't been in a while, but I love that. It's kind of expensive, so we go for like very special occasions like anniversaries or usually at Christmas time. We like to go there, but the food is amazing. There's a Starbucks, a bakery, a bagel place. They just built a new Publix, so there's a ton of like quicker restaurants over there, kind of like that fast casual like Chipotle style restaurant. So they have burgers and burritos and tacos, and there's a few cute little boutique kind of shops over there, and there's a brewery there as well. Brewery. We haven't been there in a while, of course, but when we used to go, it was always a nice place to hang out. It's just pretty low-key, and they have a lot of like local beers if you're into that. So that would be my first thing. There is a lot of things to do. You could always go out for dinner, get a drink, get dessert, go for a walk. It's also very clean, which is another reason why I love living there. I feel like when you live there, you can take that for granted at how clean it really is. Like, there's no rubbish ever on the floor. It is always beautiful. Like, the grass is well kept and the trees, and I love driving down, I think it's Celebration Boulevard with all of the trees. It just looks so pretty, all the palm trees. It really is a beautiful place to live, and I feel like sometimes the people there might take that for granted, so that is always important to me. It was just always very beautiful and clean, especially on a sunny day. It was just a nice place to hang out, nice place to live. Of course, it is very close to the parks. You can almost not get closer than this unless you're living in Golden Oak, which are the $1 million mansions like right next to Magic Kingdom inside of Disney. So yeah, Celebration is probably one of the closest places you can live to Disney. The Disney company did build Celebration, so it is probably 10 minutes away. I mean, sometimes it would take me less than 10 minutes to get into the parks. You don't have to go on I-4 to get to the parks, but I-4 will come up a little bit later in this video. But at least to get to Disney, you don't have to take I-4, and you can basically be at any theme park within like 10 to 15 minutes. I would say that Magic Kingdom is the furthest one away, just because like Celebration's down here and Magic Kingdom is at the very top. That one takes a little bit longer, but I mean, is 15 minutes really a long time? We were so close that I could hear the Epcot fireworks most nights. So that is how close you are. It never really bothered me. To be honest, if you have like the TV on, you kind of just tune it out and it just it was never a factor that bothered me. So I always thought it was kind of cool to be able to hear them. When it comes to apartments, they are the cost is relative to what is in the surrounding area, basically. I do a lot of apartment touring videos. If you haven't seen those, I will link them below in case you are thinking about moving to the Disney World area. But I have been everywhere, like Horizon West, Winter Garden, Windermere, I did a few in Kissimmee. I'm trying to think now, it was more so last year, but we toured a bunch of apartments in the area and all the prices are quite similar. There's a very expensive apartment complex in Celebration in Island Village. By expensive, I mean like $3,000 a month. It's a lot. That being said, of course, you don't have to choose that apartment complex. The complex that we lived in was very similar to the ones in the surrounding area. So the only thing I will say is that they're a little bit older. Oh, let me breathe. I have a lot of thoughts. The one thing I will say is that they are a little bit older, so you are paying the same price maybe for what you would pay for a newer apartment in the surrounding area. At least that's what we found, that it was either we could renew there and pay the same as we would for this brand new apartment. Of course, it just depends on your preference. I think that is really everything I enjoyed about living in Celebration. Like I said, it is beautiful to live there. I like that they keep on popping up new restaurants and new shops, and a lot of it is walkable, or you can take your bike, or even if you're driving, it's really like a 5-minute drive. So there's always something to do. So that is what I really enjoyed about living there. And of course, how close it is to the parks as well. Sorry if the lighting is changing. I'm just filming it with the natural light today. So it's kind of going up and down. It's a bit of a cloudy day. Now for why we wanted to move out of Celebration. The number one reason that we wanted to move, I would say, and I think my husband would agree, that it is just not a homey vibe for us personally. I think that with all of the tourism, it just felt more like a holiday home, and I can imagine that you would think that that would be a good thing, like, oh my gosh, every day I'm on vacation type of thing, but it just wasn't, it didn't give us that vibe really. Every day driving through there, I genuinely felt lucky to live there because, like I mentioned, it was just so clean and beautiful, and I really felt like this is a dream to live there. But on the other hand, I was like, it just gets so busy with the tourism during the holidays. I mean, I do tend to avoid Disney World during holidays, like if it's spring break that just passed, or maybe 4th of July, or obviously Christmas sometimes, and any of those like really big holidays, I'm like, we don't need to go that day. We can skip the 3-day weekend, you know, like if it's President's Day and everybody has it off, whatever. Then to have that feeling transferred into where we live was just getting a little bit much, I think, especially with social media that spreads the word, of course, like, come here on Halloween or Christmas, and it's amazing that they have so many events, and I enjoyed that in the beginning, but I think that it just got to be too much, and it doesn't have like that small town home vibe that's like, oh, it's Halloween, like everyone goes trick-or-treating, which of course they do, but everybody comes out on Halloween from everywhere. Like the traffic is just crazy. I would say the busiest day in Celebration is Halloween, and to avoid it at all costs. So as much as I want to say that I like all of the events that they put on, it's difficult for me just because it gets so busy. I just don't really enjoy all of the crowds. I was looking for like a small town homey vibe where, you know, every time you go to these events, it's not like pandemonium and people everywhere, and maybe you see the same faces, which is true because, you know, obviously a lot of people go to the same events and you might recognize some people, but it just gets to be a lot of people, in my opinion. And you might not feel that way. You might enjoy all of the events and going every season and all of that, but that was just one of the reasons why we decided to move. Also, Celebration runs right along I-4 and also the 192. Those are very high traffic and touristy areas, really the only place that we could get without as much traffic is going to Disney. There is a Publix nearby, but Publix is a little more of like a higher end. It's a bit more expensive versus like a Walmart. I would say it's kind of like Target prices, you know, for the same stuff, same brands that you can get at Walmart. But our closest Walmart was on the 192, and again, the traffic is really bad on there, and it was what's considered like a touristy Walmart, so they never carried like seasonal things, and it was right next to Disney, so of course that makes sense that everyone who was traveling here would go to that Walmart. So it was just busy constantly that I just never stepped foot in that Walmart. Which again, might sound silly, but for me, just to have like a close Target, a close Walmart, like that isn't very busy, because the ones that we would go to were like the touristy ones, and it just didn't have that homey vibe again. And I'm so happy where we live now. Like, we have a Publix there, a Walmart, and a Target, and they are so chill. Like, going into Walmart in the middle of the day on whatever day it is, and it just being like calm and not having to like stress out over what you need and just getting to walk through the aisles, like that was something that I didn't know that I missed, and I enjoy that where we live now. So that is another reason. Of course, if you don't care about that and you shop at Publix, then that doesn't really matter, does it? But for me, I like a walk around the shops, and also Walmart is a lot cheaper than Publix, so you can probably save a third. I don't want to say half because everything's expensive now, but you can save a lot of money just by shopping at Walmart. Anyway, it's nice to just have a chilled grocery store experience that is like how I grew up, because I lived in a smaller town, and that is the vibe that I was looking for. So that's my rant about Walmart. Now, Celebration has two Facebook groups. There's the front porch and back porch, and I can't really remember which is which. I think one of them, like the back porch, is more unhinged than the front. I don't know. A lot of them get like cross-posted or something. I joined these Facebook groups to be kind of like in the know with what is going on. Like, it's nice sometimes because they'll post about new restaurants and people will go and review them and post it on there, or like little stuff like that. But respectfully, these people on the Facebook groups are very entitled, it seems. When I read the concerns that they have, I feel like they do genuinely just live in this bubble. And I think that Celebration is so special that what are they complaining about? Like, what could possibly, you know, I know this is my cons section of the video and you could say that I'm complaining, but I would read some of these to you, because sometimes when I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh my gosh, there are like real problems in the world, and there's like this thread of people just complaining, and I think that that's not good for anyone. So do not join the Facebook groups. Oh my gosh, I opened this straight away, and what the heck is that? Okay, it's the back porch. Do not join the back porch, because that's where it all pops off. I'll put a picture in right here of, I immediately opened my Facebook. I don't even know why I'm still in these groups, actually. I should probably leave. They just redid some of the like public restrooms near the park or something, and someone just posted a picture and said, well, this is ugly, and it looks fine. I just feel like they have never lived anywhere else that is actually ugly, or that people don't try to maintain, like the, what's the word? I don't know what the proper words are for this. Like, there's, you know, constant landscapers there. They're constantly like fixing the trees, like I mentioned 1,000 times. It's very beautiful. And I feel like these people just take that for granted so much. It's like, have you ever lived anywhere else in your life, or have you ever been to other places? That just drove me crazy. Hey, it's future me editing this, and I can't help but think that this wasn't a reason why we moved, and I know that's what this video is about. I don't know if this is just something that, well, it did rub me the wrong way, clearly. But I think that the point I was trying to get across is just that, what was the point? Was this just a rant? I think it was just something that annoyed me, and probably if you are wanting to move there, just like don't get involved in the Facebook groups, because they're annoying. And we don't need to be reading negative stuff about this town that is so beautiful. Like I said, it could just be worse. There are so many worse places to live. Like, these people don't need to be dying on these hills. But I think that was it. I don't know, but I'm gonna leave it in because why not? All right, thanks. Note to self, I will leave this group after this video. That is just crazy. So it's a lot of people commenting things like that. It's just not for me. Don't join the Facebook group. There are plenty of other ways to find out what's going on. They do a free magazine every month that you automatically get sent to your mailbox. So just read that. Going back to what I was saying before about Celebration being right along I-4, it's Orlando. It's not Celebration's fault, but the way that Orlando is set up with the one road that goes this way and one road that goes this way, I just hate I-4. I think that we all do. I think that it is the deadliest road in America, or it's one of the deadliest roads, and that makes me feel good driving on it. I probably haven't driven on that road. I couldn't even tell you the last time. It is just a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, there's not much more I can say about that. I-4 sucks. We did move a bit more north, so now we don't have to take I-4 to get to like the mall or Universal and things like that. And honestly, I would rather pay the toll than take I-4, so that's just me. Lastly, I will say a con of living in Celebration is the HOAs. Now, I don't have a house, or I'm not going to own a house in Celebration anytime soon, probably ever. But I have seen a lot of people complain on the Facebook group about the HOAs and how nitpicky they are. And I think in one way it's good because, like I said, it makes sure that everything is still nice and clean and tidy. But on the other hand, sometimes they can take it too far. And they're also really expensive every month. Like, if you might see a condo and think, oh, that might not be bad for the monthly payment. Like, let me look into that. And then the HOA is like $800 a month. If you want to avoid an HOA, Celebration is not the place to do it. I think that is all I have for this video. Just to wrap up, I will say that we really enjoyed our time in Celebration. I feel like these past like 2024, it just got so busy there, as I mentioned, and we were just kind of over it. We are really happy with where we live now. It does have a home feel. It's very relaxed. It doesn't feel busy all the time. I just love it here. It's really nice, and I hope that we get to stay here for a long time. And we're still pretty close to the parks, but thank you, Celebration. You have served me well. We can always go back. That's the thing. We're really not that far from it. So if we do want to go back to whichever restaurant or go check out a new shop that opened, you know, that's why I don't really miss it as much, because we can go back there, and I think that we would just kind of tired of it. And this place where we live is so beautiful as well. So I feel very lucky to live here, and thank you, Celebration, for serving your purpose for the past 5 years. And thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.